This short video will show you how to customize the Cintiq 22HD Touch for both greater enjoyment and productivity. You'll learn how to adjust key features like express keys, touch strips, pen switches, and modifying the behavior of multi-touch gestures. Before following the steps in this video, please install your Cintiq and configure all your displays. If you need help with these initial steps, please review the video installing the Cintiq 22HD and 22HD Touch, which will walk you through the steps of physically getting your pen display up and running. Both the 22HD and HD Touch have 8 customizable express keys on each side of the display, as well as a 4-mode touch strip located on the back of each side. Each small center button toggles through the 4 modes of that side's touch strip. On the Cintiq grip pen, there is also a programmable rocker switch. The Cintiq 22 Touch not only enables standard 1 and 2 finger gestures, but also has gestures for 3, 4, and 5 fingers that can be customized for your operating system or your favorite applications. Wacom has assigned default settings to all of these features for you, but you're encouraged to configure them to better suit your individual needs. In addition, all the Cintiq features can perform the same function across the entire operating system, or be assigned distinct functions for specific applications through the Wacom Tablet properties. The fastest way to open the Wacom Tablet properties is to simply press the wrench icon at the top of the display, which will automatically open the properties window. You can also open it through traditional means, on a Mac through System Preferences, Wacom Tablet, or on a Windows computer through All Programs or the Control Panel. The tabs and pull-down menus of the Tablet Properties window allow you to customize your Cintiq. At the top is the tablet list. This will show you any Cintiqs or Intuos tablets that are currently connected to your computer. For most people, this will only show the Cintiq 22 or 22 Touch. But if you have more than one, you'll need to make sure you have the one you want to customize selected before moving on to the Tools list. Next is the Tools list, which allows you to selectively modify features, touch gestures, and pens. This list will also include any accessory pens that you may have purchased in addition to the grip pen that came with your Cintiq. Finally, you'll see the Applications list. By default, it says All, meaning that any adjustments made will apply to all applications. But you can adjust the settings for specific applications. For example, assigning the express keys to perform one set of functions across the entire operating system, but perform a specific task in Photoshop. To demonstrate how to first assign functions of express keys for all applications, we'll use common keyboard shortcuts for copy and paste, which is useful in most applications. To do this, choose Functions in the Tools list, choose the Express Keys tab, and then select the appropriate function from the pull-down menu of the express key to be modified. In this case, select Keystroke. To set the button to perform the Copy function, make sure the cursor is in the Define Keystroke dialog. Hold down the Command key on a Mac or Control for Windows, and hit the letter C. Effectively using the keys exactly as you would in an application to copy a selection. Click in the Name field and enter the name for the button. We can set the button below it in the same way. Select Keystroke, then hold down Command or Control and hit the letter V, and name the button accordingly, Paste. Click OK, and the buttons are ready to use. Note that when defining a keystroke, you cannot tab to the next field or hit Return to finish, as it will record these keys as well. To create a setting for a specific application, it is easiest to first open the program you want to customize. We'll set up an express key to use Photoshop's alternate undo, which steps back through the history rather than just toggling back and forth through the last 2 history states. Make sure the tool you want to customize is selected by highlighting Functions. Then to the right of the Applications list, click the plus sign to add a program to be customized, and click OK. Select the application, in this case Photoshop, from the list of running software. If it's not running, you can navigate to the program by clicking Browse. Click OK once you've selected the software. Now, if you select other tools, they'll show All in the Applications list. But with Functions selected in the Tool list, the application list now has 2 entries, All Other and Photoshop. Select Photoshop. The functions of the tablet are now ready to customize for Photoshop only. Select the key to be modified from the Express Keys tab, select Keystroke from the drop-down list, This time, hold down Control and Alt on Windows or Command and Option on Mac while pressing the Z key. Effectively adding the Alt Option modifier makes it a multiple undo, similar to the behavior of undo in most other applications. The Cintiq 22HD Touch has gestures that can help with more intuitive navigation between programs as well. For instance, using a basic four-finger swipe left or right, you can switch applications, or a quick swipe up will reveal your desktop. In addition, you can customize the behavior of these gestures just like you can for the express keys and touch strip. For example, if you wanted to jump quickly between your two most frequently used programs, you could change the four-finger swipe up to toggle between them. In this example, I'll use Photoshop and Lightroom. For a fast way to change specific settings, press the I button at the top of the Cintiq and tap your finger near the Touch Properties. This should open the Properties window on the tab you want to make changes to. We will add Photoshop to the Applications list and make sure it's selected. If you only have a Touch Options tab, you'll need to select Use Wacom Gestures. Then, on the My Gestures tab, select the gesture you want to reconfigure. Four-finger swipe up. Then choose Open Run from the drop-down. In this case, you're required to browse to the application you want to use this gesture to launch. I'll browse to Lightroom, select it, and click OK. Next, we will add Lightroom as a custom application by clicking the plus next to the Applications list, select Lightroom from the list of running programs, or browse to it if it's not running. Then, with Touch selected in the Tools list and Lightroom in the Applications list, select the Gesture tab for the same gesture, four-finger swipe up. Once again, choose Open Run from the drop-down list, only this time browse to Photoshop. Now, to get between my two most frequently used programs, I can use the same simple on-screen gesture to jump back and forth. Now let's configure the pen switch to be more effective in Photoshop. Select the pen in the Tools list, click the plus to the right of the Applications list, and this time add Photoshop for the pen. In Photoshop, the spacebar functions as an interrupt for the hand tool or grab tool, and on a Cintiq is a very powerful way to navigate when zoomed in on an image. To assign space to the lower end of the rocker switch, select the keystroke from the switch's drop-down menu, then define it by pressing once on the spacebar. Click in the name field and name it accordingly. Select OK. A valuable setting for the other end of the rocker switch is the Alt or Option key to access any tool's alternate function. This time choose Modifier rather than Keystroke from the switch's drop-down menu and check the Alt or Option box. Modifiers can alter the behavior of tools, clicks, keystrokes, or even scroll events. Now in Photoshop, Space easily navigates the screen by pressing the front or lower side switch. And for tools like the clone stamp or healing brush, the top switch now lets me select a sample point, and I have easy access to the color picker when I'm using the brush tool. To help learn your tablet settings, press the I button on the top of the display frame. This will bring up a map of your settings on your display, showing you your current express key and touch strip settings for whichever application you're currently in. The touch strips on either side of the Cintiq 22 and 22 Touch are customized in a similar way to the express keys. In addition, you can set up the small center Mode button to control the behavior of the adjacent strip. The default settings are Auto Scroll Zoom, Cycle Layers, Brush Size, and Canvas Rotation. These functions can be changed for all programs or specific applications as well. For example, to set up the touch strip to increase and decrease the hardness of a brush in Photoshop, we'll open the Control panel, select Functions in the Tools list, and make sure Photoshop appears in the Applications list. Remember, if it doesn't, select the tool, click the plus to the right of the Applications list, and select Photoshop, then click OK. Make sure the application is selected. Select the Touch Strip tab, then choose the drop-down menu for whichever mode you want to change. For instance, I will change the second option from Cycle Layers to Brush Hardness. The keyboard shortcuts for brush hardness are Shift and the left bracket key to soften a brush, and Shift and the right bracket key to harden one. So click in the top Keys field and hit the Clear button if there's anything there. Holding the Shift key, hit the left bracket key. This sets the upward motion to soften a brush. Select the lower or downward field, hit Clear, then hold Shift and right bracket key to increase hardness. Now, when you slide your finger up the touch strip, it hardens a brush and down to soften it. Name it Brush Hardness and click OK. Setting up your express keys, touch strip toggle, pen switches, and custom gestures should only take a few minutes, but they can save you hours over the course of a work week. If you ever think you've made errors and want to start over, just hit the default button in the lower right of any tab to restore the default settings. You can then start over, setting up that tab again. Default will only reset the tab you're on. If you've already built your own settings and you want to keep them, you can back them up and restore them at a later time by using the Tablet Preferences utility. For more information on this, see our video called Backing Up and Restoring Tablet Preferences. For more support information, be sure to check out our other help videos at wacom.com or youtube.com/wacom.